welcome back to Blake's Craft Beer Podcast. My name is Blake Longfellow. I'm back here at Branch and Bone for Dimmer Day 2026. Justin and I have been talking about doing this for a little bit, and I'm excited to get down here and talk Dimmer. I think one of the best coffee beers there is out there. There's a lot of good coffee beers, but it's just Dayton in general. When you think Branch and Bone, some of the beers that come out, one of the first beers you think of is Dimmer. And they have a big event for us each and every year. I got 5 beers looking very beautiful in front of me. When Justin was pouring it, tasting it, I was like, oh, I started watering. So welcome, guys. Just introduce yourselves and your roles.
Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, I'm Doug Lane. I am the newest member here at Branch and Bone. Co-brewer, cellarman, packaging dude, just a little bit of everything.
We both do pretty much everything on the floor, so co-brewer is the correct term for sure.
And in that voice, Justin Trhlin, the head brewer, owner of this
Dimmer aficionado.
Yes. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Blake.
So before we dive into that, Doug, tell me your history in the beer and hey, I'm going to be a brewer and your journey into Branch and Bone.
So long story short, I started home brewing in college because it was easier to get ingredients to make beer instead of buying beer when I was under 21. Homebrewed for a while and eventually helped open up Devilwind Brewing, and I was there for 7.5 years. And then this past February of last year, John and Justin had reached out to me about a position here that was opening up, and it was time for a change in my life and to work somewhere a little bit closer to home. So I took up that offer, and I've been here since and thoroughly enjoy it. And this has always been one of my favorite breweries, so I'm excited to actually get to make all these beers that I've enjoyed over the years.
So what were some of your first beers you started brewing?
One of the first ones I ever made was actually an ESB, and we had one over there at Devilwind that was like, my main original recipe from forever ago, and English beers, lagers, and occasionally some hazy IPAs, and that's all kind of why I like Branch and Bone so much too, is because they have similar, favorite styles that I do, and do them very well.
I thought you were a sour brewery. I'm just kidding.
It still maintains the myth.
But hey, you guys just announced your foeders are coming back online, and
we have 2 of our foeder aged saisons on right now. We have Black Razith is available, and then Gin Barrel Silence Mill, which was our foeder ale re-fermented on honey in a gin barrel. So both of those are available now. We should be releasing another few over the next, few months. And then we also are bringing our wild foeder back online. We had to clean it and purge the entire system. So I know you want to get into a little bit about OCBA in a little bit, but during OCBA, that's the Ohio Craft Brewers Association conference, we're going to be doing some cool ship stuff and then refilling our wild foeder. So hopefully that goes well and we have that stuff working as well.
How exciting is it starting to make those again and start playing?
It was definitely the passion when the guys first opened the brewery. Brett and John loved that style, and it was a lot more popular when we first opened. It has waned a little bit, but it's just more esoteric, more weird stuff. You get to play a little bit more and experiment a little bit more, and we're trying to keep that a little bit more traditional, but also be, can you be the cutting edge of traditional? But yeah, we're just trying some stuff that we've done before and maybe trying some new fruiting and some hop dosed wild and saison stuff maybe in the future. So we'll see. We're looking forward to it.
Are you excited about playing with that yourself?
Yeah, you actually read my mind. I was going to say I've never really had an opportunity to do anything like that. I've done some fruited sours out at Devilwind, but it's not really the scene out there. It's not, that accepted. So being able to come here and especially mess with the foeders and everything, you get to see that side of brewing it's been really educational and really neat. And it's just cool to see how all that stuff's done.
So when is coming to Branch and Bone, coming from Xenia, is there a 2 different customer base, you think, or are they all about the same, wanting the same stuff, or is it a different?
Oh, absolutely very different. Out there, it's definitely more blue collar, rural, a lot of light beer drinkers, and that's fine with me because I love making lagers, and I was happy to do that. But it did kind of limit me a little bit on what I could do and experimental stuff. But I was able to kind of dip their toes in some newer stuff, but nothing quite like the sour beers and stuff here.
It's fun for me too because like I said, Brett and John started our foeder program, and I was obviously involved with a lot of that stuff, but Brett more or less ran it. So now that I am, sort of in charge of it, certainly John's got a lot of input on it as well. But I'm learning a lot as well. So this will be a learning experience for both Doug and I, which is, always fun when you've been in this for a number of years and get to try new things and improve your knowledge base.
So with today's climate in 2026 with craft beer drinkers, are they still wanting? What's the balance today on doing experimental and also having to make sure your cores are?
I think that's a little bit twofold. People definitely like when we release new beers. Now, most of that is just going to be a new hazy with a different hop combination, maybe a couple of different malts, that sort of thing. So that is always welcomed, I think. Every time we say, hey, we've got a new beer on draft and in cans, we'll see an uptick in foot traffic for a few days, just people coming in to try that. People are probably not as into like the sour stuff and the more esoteric stuff. We certainly have a beer nerd base, which I love, who are coming in to try that more weird stuff that we do, but it's not quite as big as, hey, we've got another hazy IPA on. So again, like I think in the same way we're excited about it and like to learn and stuff like that, there is a segment of the populace who is also excited about it too. It's not as broad as a lot of other things, so it is what it is. Hi, Lynn.
Hey, you're fine. So we are at Dimmer Day. Like I said, I have 5 of them. So where would you want me to start?
Start on your left. That is the one that we're releasing in cans today as well. That's tiramisu dimmer. So should find notes of mascarpone cheese, espresso, vanilla, cocoa. They should all be represented there. That one should be pretty well balanced. I like the way it turned out. I'd like it to have a little bit more punch if I had my druthers, but I think it turned out well, and I think people are going to be pretty happy with the way it's tasting at the moment. Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
I know it's everything you said, it's very tasty, and yeah.
Well, thank you.
How did Dimmer get started?
Again, this is I think it's one of Brett's old homebrew recipes, and it started just as a golden ale when we opened. It was one of the first beers we had on when we opened, and I think when they tried it, they were just like, yeah, it's fine. It's a good golden ale, but it needs something. And so Brett added Woodborough coffee from right down the road from us. Press sells Woodborough coffee. That's their roastery. And added that, and from the day we opened, it has been one of our, fan favorites. So after Gorlami and Spectral Alphabet, I would say it's one of the core-ish. It is on more often than almost anything else we have, other than those other main 2. So yeah, that was the original idea behind it, and since we brought our cask ale program on, we released what we're now calling, for lack of a better term, DIM, and that is just the base golden ale on cask, which we don't get to release too often. It's just the base beer, and it tastes great, and then you can kind of try it and see what the coffee adds to it. So fun little thing for us to do as well.
How have you enjoyed doing Dimmer? And
I love Dimmer. That was always one of my absolute favorite beers here, and I'd always make a point to come out here on Dimmer Day. Sometimes having a little too much fun, but it's awesome, and I love coffee and beer, and so being able to just smell the coffee when we're getting it ready and putting it in the tank, and having just a little bit left for us to enjoy. It's been great, and it's cool trying out all these different variants and seeing what works. And I always love that you guys do themes for the Dimmer Days, and this year's one is pretty fun.
The other part about that is when we first started, we did not really brew lagers or pub ales, which is, the easy drinking stuff. So Dimmer was our sort of light option that was, approachable, not as in your face as some hazy IPAs and sours and stouts and whatnot. So that was sort of the easiest thing to drink, which I also helped grow its popularity. When people just wanted something easier drinking, they would go for Dimmer, and sort of got, just like most people with coffee, a little bit addicted to it.
I mean, coffee and beer, it just...
they go well.
Yeah. If we can only drink them before work and not be frowned upon, that would be great.
I've actually told people sometimes when I've smelled dimmer right out of the can or out of a glass, I'm like, this just smells like coffee. If you had it in a Yeti where people couldn't see it and they just smelled it, you'd be like, yep, just coffee. Don't look twice here. I'm not encouraging drinking at work, folks, even though we get to.
Is that your favorite part of your job?
I get asked that a lot, and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek answer because people think, are you drunk all the time? No, absolutely not. We'd be dead. So is it great that sometimes when we're knocking out, we get to crack open beers and try a couple? Absolutely. But rarely are we drunk at work unless it is, a special occasion. So
Or a rough day.
There are those on occasion as well. This has been a very hard week.
No,
So what make? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You first.
I was just going to say, I thought your favorite part of work was all the wonderful people you get to hang out with.
Oh, yes. Yes. Doug in particular, for sure.
No, I was about to say, as a brewers, what is your roughest day? Like they like the part of like brewing. Is there like a certain days that you're like, oh, this is gonna be rough, or sometimes you just don't know?
Packaging.
Well, that's true too.
No, I mean it depends. Like canning is there's a lot of moving parts.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. And a lot of things can go wrong, and they usually do. But it kind of just depends. Usually things go very, very smoothly on any process in brewing, but then there's just days where a process that normally would take an hour ends up taking 3 or something just because something goes wrong.
He's talking about stuck mashes.
Yeah, stuck mashes. Or if you're trying to dump hops out of a tank and they're clogged up and you have to keep fighting it for 45 minutes or so. But it just kind of just depends. There's just a lot of things especially when you have a lot to do in one day, that's usually when things go wrong.
That's what I was going to say is like this past week, as we've been getting ready for OCBA and Dimmer Day and filling some barrels this coming week, we've had a ton of different stuff. And no joke, Doug and I have barely stopped moving. We've had an 11-hour day, we've actually surprisingly gotten out of here in 8.5, 9 hours the other 2 days, but truly like barely time to sit down and eat lunch sort of thing. You're just always on to the next task. Oh my God, this thing's moving. We're filling this tank with CO2. You're monitoring 6 things. And when there's only 2 of you, it can be a lot to take on. And so those days go by really quickly, but you're also completely spent at the end of them. So that makes it a little bit of a challenge.
Mm. So it's just not, I'm just going to brew a beer and have an easy day. And
we definitely have those days. They are more rare recently, keeping up with distribution throughout the state. And again, I've said this in the past on your podcast, but good problem to have. Like as long as people are buying the beer, it means we're at work. That said, you can have those days where, through the best planning or not, a tank isn't quite ready, so we have to push a packaging day back a day, and then you're playing catch up after that. It's an always moving process. So you're always kind of trying to react to what's going on around you, and that's not always the easiest when you're on timelines.
So is there like certain points of the year that it might be more busier than another, or is it just depends on the week?
Normally, this time of year would be slower. That January, February time after the holidays and before spring, you typically see a little bit of a slowdown because of OCBA. And we also had an equipment breakdown. Was that in November?
It's like September,
Okay.
October.
But we had our entire chiller went down, and we could not chill our tanks. So we couldn't brew into them. We couldn't package. So we were just basically dead in the water for a week. And a week doesn't sound like a lot, but then you're trying to constantly make up. You're trying to push something by a couple days here and a day or two there. And you're reacting for a month and a half afterwards. So those little things can have a large impact down the line. And so normally this time would be our slow period, and it has been anything but so far. But standard speaking, we're busier in the summer when people can be on the patio. We've got our event days in June, so we'll be packaging a lot of barrel-aged beer and stuff like that for our anniversary. So those things are all factoring. Everyone's got different anniversary and whatnot. So the ideal situation would be to have your anniversary in February when there's nothing going on and you can be busier during that time getting ready for an anniversary. That is not the case with us. So damn those guys for opening in June.
All right, let's go down the line now.
Sure. I think you've got apple fritter next. Let me check my camera here and make sure I put them in the right order. Tiramisu was the one you just had. Yeah, apple fritter is the next one. So this should have some little bit of cinnamon, some sweetness,
smell
good
cinnamon
apple
right
note.
away.
Yeah, good. I'm happy to hear that. I really like the way this one turned out. When I first did the variant originally, there wasn't a lot of apple to it, so I went back and adjusted.
You get the back of the apple, front cinnamon apple. I know it's
That's
nice.
I like to hear that. That was I think that one turned out to be my favorite of the group. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that one turned out.
It's like you're eating a box of Apple Jacks.
Well, that'll work. I want apple fritters, Blake. Come on.
Sorry. That's no. It's just what
No, that's fine. Those flavors are all there for both, so that's good. Happy to hear it.
So, what made you guys do donuts?
I think that was just a Jama idea. Our taproom manager, Jama, she's sometimes, there's a lot of collaboration between all of us because, she'll say, hey, what do you guys think about this or that? And can we make this work? But yeah, because she runs our events in the taproom, she comes up with ideas and we sort of put our heads together and figure out the best way to do stuff. So, any of these flavors, you could say, like the Devil's Food one, you could just call it, chocolate and sweetness. So it's not like they have to be donuts, but they worked well as donuts, and we put them together thinking of the donuts that we like.
Donuts in the fermenter too?
No, not this time, no. Because with Dimmer in particular, on Dimmer Day, we always released the original recipe Dimmer as well as a major variant in cans, but everything else is just a variant on premises. If we put the donuts into the fermenter, everything would taste kind of the same. So, we have done stuff like that in the past where I will add little bits of something to stuff. And in this case, I did for the variants, but not for the major two.
So what did you think putting this one together?
I love donuts, so I was pretty stoked about it and wondering where we were going to take it and what kind of routes we were going to go. And I think everything that we did was pretty much what I would be eating. So,
No, this could really be like a fall beer for you guys.
It works perfectly in that vein. I totally agree. Like, I would like to be able to release that one. I'd have to figure out how to do it, shelf stably. We can make a lot of these variants because they never have to sit on a store shelf. They won't re-ferment. A lot of these have some sugar in them and would actively re-ferment and become, in this case, can bombs. So I don't want to do that, but I would like to figure out how to do the apple cinnamon correctly that way because I think it turned out well.
No, very good. So we've been touching on it a little bit, but the Monday after this is released, OCBA week will be here.
Correct. It's coming up quickly.
How excited are you guys? We've touched on this a
Sure.
little bit, but still, everyone's coming to Dayton.
Yes, it is exciting. I think the last one we did, it was actually about a month before COVID when we were last in Dayton. The conference moves around the state, sort of featuring different breweries from all over the place. We've done Cleveland, Toledo, and Columbus all in the past couple of years. I'd like to get one in Athens, even though there aren't a ton of breweries out there, but the ones that are world class. But yeah, it's never bad, again, given that January is typically a slow period. You've got dry January and all that stuff, to have, 600 brewers come into town and want to try all the local breweries. So it's a little bit of a bump in our foot traffic. And it's also just great to be able to network with all these people you like and get to try their beers, but don't always get to get to their places. So it's a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll be good for business as well.
But how about you?
oh yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't been able to go to the conferences since the last one here. Or no, I think I went to the one in Cincinnati, but it's been quite a while, and there are people like Justin was saying that we don't ever really get to see. We don't really get to go to their breweries because we're really busy all the time, and so I'm excited to network with them again, see a bunch of friends that it's been years, and just talk shop with a bunch of guys that know what the heck they're doing.
Are you guys doing any collabs for it?
So we're actually, that last tank down there is filled with, we're calling it Happening After Happening. That's our first collaboration with Masthead out of Cleveland.
Oh, nice.
So as we talked about before we got on here, Monday night we're going to be filling our cool ship. Actually, we did mention it on here. So that'll be a low-key event where we'll be open on a Monday for the first time in a long while. And so that'll be just a sort of, people can come and go as they will. But Tuesday will be closed to the public because we're having the release of that beer with Masthead, the guys from Masthead and from Country Malt who sponsored the event. And it's just going to be a brewer's event where everybody will come hang out, try the beer. We'll have some food and stuff like that. And it should be a good time. And then we'll be releasing it to the public on Wednesday. I don't know what Wednesday, the 28th, whatever that day is. So yeah, we'll have people come in and be able to buy cans that date. So yeah, it should be a good time. And I don't think we have anything Wednesday because the conference kind of ends Wednesday afternoon.
Because the beer awards is Wednesday.
Correct. Yep,
So-
that's right.
So, but what is it more exciting to go to? I haven't decided. Is it going to like the event or the afterwards when all the breweries are having special things out and
You can definitely get a lot of good information from the conference itself, and there are a lot of good tracks and panels and stuff like that where you can learn some stuff. The main reason most of us, I think, enjoy it is getting to try each other's stuff, having a big party with your buddies. Last time we were here, Brett had set up a brewers karaoke night over at Blind Bob's, and it was just packed out with people obnoxiously singing, and I mean that in the best way, and
you
just
sing?
having a blast. No, I do not do karaoke. I've had one experience ever. I was mortified the entire time. I was no good at it, and I shan't be trying it again.
I think I did it once too. Next time I was like, I got to be more hammered to do this.
It's almost necessary.
How about you? Do you sing?
Not well. I honestly, I don't remember if I did at that karaoke event or not.
I don't remember if you did either.
That event was kind of the death of me. So,
Doug is a musician, so I'd feel better about him getting up on stage than me. But
I mean, last year's OCBA, I learned what liquid IVs were
those are very helpful during that week.
because it's
Along with what are they called? The immunity vitamin C blends.
Emergencies.
Yeah, emergency. There you go.
Airborne.
Yeah, when you've got 600 people gathering in small rooms in January during flu season, inevitably something happens. So everybody take your good stuff.
yeah. I already got my shots, so I think I'm all right. So, all right, now just going down the line here.
Go on to the next one. Here, let me bring up my camera again. I keep forgetting what I put where. Next one for you is the caramel Persian. So this is sort of like, a caramel glazed, peanut covered yeast donut. So
You smell the caramel right away.
this one is strong. Like I would have liked to have tamped it down. I think people are going to love it because it's got that sweetness. It's very flavor forward in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for me, I'd like it to be a little bit better balanced. I won't be drinking too much of this one just because it's a little bit in my face.
Yeah. You can definitely get taste the caramel right. Yeah.
That's the idea. Maybe a little bit too much, but here we are.
Well, sometimes people put caramel in beers and you can't find it. So
Right,
this is
yep.
good.
Yeah, I like the way that one turned out. More or less.
So when you're using like caramel, is it a certain malt or you're actually using real caramel?
Depends on what we're doing. In this case, these are more adjuncts. This is sort of ease of use. We want to get the flavor right where we think people are going to like them. But yeah, we're not using caramel malts in this like we would if we made this into a proper beer. We have used caramel malts. I just tried a honey kolsch from a buddy out of Odenton, Maryland, the Crooked Crab, and it was fantastic. They did use some honey malt and orange blossom honey. So it sort of depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. Dimmer is a Maris Otter based beer, so there is some of that a little bit more nutty, biscuity malt as opposed to just using Pilsner malt or two-row. But yeah, in this case, we used some flavoring, some actual ingredients, just trying to get the flavor where we wanted it to be.
So is it a messy day though when you put caramel in a beer?
Not overly in this case. Like when we have to put actual honey into the boil kettle, that can be because you're trying to get that, you're trying to warm it up a bit so it pours easily and then everything's sticky and you spill some and your fingers are covered and that sort of stuff. But in general, this was just a small treatment, so we were able to just use our yeast brinks and throw some stuff together and get it right.
Is there like certain ingredients you dread, and even though you're gonna have to use them, but it's like, oh boy.
Individually, I mean, honestly, more than anything, it's malt types. It's the more wheat you use, the more stuck your mash can get. The more rye you use, same situation. So I think those are worse than anything. It's never easy when we need to fruit a tank, just because we're pumping fruit into an actively fermenting beer, and it's a closed system. So we're trying to keep it, purged of oxygen and all that jazz. But more than anything, it's just little tweaks you have to do that make it a little bit more difficult, but if the end product turns out well, it's all worth it.
So we touched a little bit. Are you doing any talks at the OCBA?
Nope, I've never done a talk, never been asked to. I don't know if that's an indictment of me, but no, I'm not doing anything. I actually don't even know how much I'll be attending. We have another employee who's not here with us today, who works back in the back and with Doug and I, and then also bartends on occasion, named Ben. And so I'd like to get him to some stuff because he's learning more back here to help us out. I think Doug and Jam will also be going over a little bit. I'm going to try to get over there. And I know John wants to see the trade floor as well. So we'll try to get over a little bit, but because we're hosting so many things, there will be a lot of moving pieces at the brewery. So probably won't get over there as much as I'd like to.
Do you learn a lot from the trade show itself?
You can certainly see new equipment, and just, like you can go, oh man, we use this, and it's, not saying anything on the trade show floor, but we use something and it's kind of crappy and this is a better version of it. That would be great. Last year at CBC in Indianapolis, we got our grist case, which is still not hooked up, but it's a work in progress. So eventually that will help us out. And we found that on the floor. That's literally the one that was on the floor at CBC. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely see different, and we've found different ingredients and stuff that we can use in packaging, stuff to do treatments with. There's, hop panels where you can try new hop varieties and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always great to be able to see that stuff and get exposure to some things you might not see if you're just scrolling online. Anything for you? What do you learn at stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, what type of seminars there are and what they talk about. On the trade floor, though, like, it is cool to find out about, like, maybe new hop, variants that are out, or like experimental hops, or just some ingredients. And, it's really neat to see some of this new equipment that keeps coming out, every couple of years, and, what they're doing, things to
make us jealous,
and save people's backs that actually have money. And,
right.
No, it's just a really neat experience to see all those things that I'll never be able to use.
There's pipe dreams, Doug. There's pipe dreams.
So what's the most expensive thing normally at the trade show?
I mean, the entire brewing kits, the whole brew houses that, can go for, I mean, I honestly haven't even looked at some of the most expensive ones, but I've seen them for, $150,000. And that's just talking about at, smaller levels like us. I'm sure they can get into millions and millions at larger, but those are typically the most expensive. There are so many things. Canning lines can be, incredibly expensive. But yeah, I mean, there's state-of-the-art stuff that, keg lifts and vacuums and all that stuff that you can use, and stuff that, again, as Doug said, small places like us can't afford, but, maybe one day.
What is one equipment that you would love to have, that if you could pick one?
I mean, we got our grist case, and that'll help us be a little bit faster. But I think for all of us, like that one I just mentioned, the keg vacuum, so we don't have to lift kegs by hand, and that's it's so good ergonomically to not be going, hey, can you come help me lift this 200-pound keg and stack it 4 feet in the air? Like, not always the best. And I'm sure OSHA doesn't love some of the ways we bend and stretch and put our bodies in positions we probably shouldn't. So that would be the one that would probably do us the best overall.
Yep.
It would also be great to have an automated brew house at this point, but here we are, still in our Franken brew, but we're making good beer with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, very good beer.
Thank you.
I thought you would say pasteurizer.
So we do pasteurize our bottles, but we do it so seldomly that it's not overly difficult. I mean, if we had to grow it, it would be a pain in the ass. It would be good to have a hoist because we pasteurize in our mash tun, just bring it all up to temp and cover it with HLT water. But yeah, like an inline pasteurizer would be nice, but that's one of those things that we don't use often enough for it to really warrant
like
it.
NA or,
Oh, I mean, these days, yes, we'd need a larger facility if we wanted to go NA. Like, that would be a little bit outside our scope unless we expanded. And I would love to do that as well. But again, money's always an issue.
I asked John Hyrie that question one time, and he said Porsche.
Yeah, well, that would help too. See that long-haired, hippie-looking brewer driving down the road in his convertible Porsche? That'd be great.
The only problem is they're going to say, "Oh, you're not struggling."
Yeah, that would be exactly it. Nope, you can definitely look at the Nissan I bought off my mom for a couple of K and see that we are definitely not rolling in cash.
Oh, I'm going to start a brewery, become a millionaire.
Oof, well, not all of us can be Sam from Dogfish Head, Would that we could be billionaires.
All right, you want to go to the next?
Sure. Next one is Devil's Food. So that is, your typical chocolate glazed donut. One of my favorite donuts in the world.
You can smell chocolate.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. So for most of these, we used flavored coffee as well as, like I said, some additional adjuncts. Actual cacao nibs. made my own simple syrup for a couple of them, which is really just sugar water, nothing incredible, just to sweeten them up a little bit, to make them a little bit more donut flavored. But yeah, like we just put everything we can into them to make sure they taste pretty close to what they are. And I think you can hear that the doors have opened up. Well,
Yeah.
we're still a couple minutes early, but it sounds like they've opened up.
There are
So
people.
dimmer day has started.
Yes.
Hooray!
Hooray. Everything sounds fine. We're good. So, but no, this almost tastes like like a chocolate sundae a little bit.
All right.
I like it.
That works for me. We can do ice cream themed in a future year. I'll
There you
just
go.
remake that one as a chocolate sundae.
I know there's a couple breweries like what is it, Fable Brewer Stem that has
Yep.
ice cream beers, and they're awesome.
Yeah. And so we've done Neapolitan stout, like barrel-aged stout in the past. Actually, I don't think that one was barrel-aged. I think it was just a standard stout. But yeah, I mean, those things are fun to do too.
Have you guys ever made it down to Fable?
I've not been to Fable Brewers. No, I mean, I've had some of their beers before, but I've not been down there
That's a treat when you get to go.
trying all that stuff.
That and just it's like you walk into like a ancient hut. It's like
Interesting.
It's like if you're a nerd,
Right.
it's right up your alley.
All right.
So,
We'll try to make a pilgrimage.
get in the truck. Let's go.
Yep.
But,
That'll work.
yeah. So since you're on here for the first time, one of my favorite questions I ask sometimes is what's things you're liking in craft beer and what are things you're not liking in craft beer? And then both of you guys can answer this.
No, sure.
So one thing, I would say probably the biggest thing that I'm really liking in craft beer right now is the sort of trend back or the shift back to traditional styles. Like
Amen.
don't get me wrong, I love big IPAs, I love big stouts, I love a lot of beers, but being able to go back and having people appreciate lagers, especially on like a side pull faucet, Luger
Hell yeah.
faucet, that's been great over the past, I'd say past 7-8 years. We've seen that shift. And then lately here especially is when we installed our beer engine in and we've started doing different cask beers, and the support for that has been massive, like bigger than we expected, and we've been flying through kegs.
We
Like,
expected 4 pins to last us for about 3 to 4 weeks, and they were gone in 8 days. So we've been flying through cask ale, and that's amazing. Like, just it's what we like to drink, it's what we like to make. So just knowing that people have sort of jumped on with us in that regard is amazing. And it's not even a ton of people, but the people who love it really love it, and obviously they're making a difference because we're flying through the beer. So that's awesome.
But yeah, just that shift back to traditional beers and traditional styles and methods and things like that is nice. And I love that we have a nice balance of that with experimental stuff, with crazy stuff.
I do like the fact that every time someone I know talks about this, we all have the caveat of, I do love hazy IPAs
Right,
and big
yeah.
stouts.
Don't get me wrong.
We're all trying to cover our asses a little bit, but yeah, I think we all have an appreciation for the styles we make, whether they are our favorite thing in the world or not. And as I've said in the past on your podcast, Blake, like, we try to make everything we make here with care and a lot of thought and energy and love and blood, sweat, and tears. But yeah, like, what we are truly passionate about drinking, at the very least, are the lagers and pub ales. So it is fun to see that trend upward a little bit. What do you hate about it, Doug?
Well, I was going to say milkshake IPAs, but I don't think those are really around anymore.
I think we've made one in the last 5 years, and it was not great.
No, so the main thing is just the uncertainty in the market right now, and just kind of we're just treading water and kind of seeing like what's going to happen and where this is going to go and everything. But I did see something the other day that there have been some studies and things shown that dry January participation has actually been going down a little bit.
Been
this
waning
year.
a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and while
It's
I'm
not fun.
Well-
If you're in Ohio,
What else do you have to do?
There's nothing else to
right,
go
it's,
do.
it's cold. There, like what else is you supposed to do?
I mean, if I lived in Florida or California where it's sunny, they would probably be easier to do it because I could just go to the beach every day.
right.
You could also just be California sober, but
Right. But yeah, I mean, like I as much as I support people do that, people taking breaks, it is a little reassuring that people are starting to just drink a little bit more again, like at least throughout January.
I also feel like, some of the things we've read have said, people aren't doing dry Januaries hard because they're just making more temperate motions throughout the year. Like they're just sort of learning to scale back purposefully at different times instead of just all at once and then just being, a complete lush the rest of the year, which is healthier overall anyway. So I just like anybody would tell you with weight loss, don't binge and purge, don't go on yo-yo diets. Like the idea isn't just to cut everything out all the time, everything in moderation, including moderation. So I think it's been good for people at large as well as for our industry. So let's hope it continues, because January, as we've talked about already, is typically slow for us, and restaurants close down, breweries close down. So it's great to see people trending a little bit more normal temperance instead of hard temperance.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a couple weeks ago, I saw a stat that it was like 70% Gen Z is not drinking at all.
That's what I think we talked about it last time I was on with you, that it was something along the lines.
No, but it was the first time I've really seen that stat. Was like,
well, it was something similar. It said, like in the past 18 years, something like that, the amount of adults, any adult over 21 who admitted to drinking a beer in the last week or something like that had gone from like 58% to down to 52%. So people are drinking less, and I think there's more options. I do think that THC products in general are on the rise, and Doug and I both partake, so that's positive. It is making us sort of need to shift how we're doing stuff a little bit and figure out different trends and how we can keep bringing people in, even though we don't do THC stuff. But yeah, any business has ebbs and flows, so we're doing what we can, and I know that a lot of other places are struggling, so you just got to keep rolling with the times.
So this is my next question. Before I ask this question, I'm not advocating for what's happening.
Okay.
I want to put that very clearly.
Sure.
If this 90-day thing actually goes through, where the THC drinks and all that gets cut out, is there, how do you think that's going to affect the market for like people like you, or is it not going to have any effect at all? I mean, personally,
it'll affect me. I enjoy those beverages and gummies and whatnot. For the business, I think it can only help, which is a bummer to say.
Like I said, I'm not advocating for this at all.
Yep.
Because I have some friends on this podcast that I've said many times, I'm a forklift driver. I can't do that.
Right.
Do it. I just can't do it. But for all my friends in Cincinnati that has a brewery, most of them has a THC product.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't. We're too close to a school. We also don't have the equipment. But outside of that, yeah. We both use it, and that sucks. I don't like the way the law has gone in that regard. I don't like the fact that the people voted on it, and the government just keeps sort of changing it on us. But overall,
the guy just needs to retire by now.
And just the damage that's going to do to all the, I know there's a lot. It's like a lot of Cincinnati breweries, like you were saying, the ones that have invested hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars into all of this equipment to be able to make this product for nothing. Now at this point, that's just so frustrating and infuriating, and I feel so bad for them.
Yep.
It's because that looked to be a way of the future, and we're
certainly
just
a growth segment.
We just keep getting dragged back to the past. So it's
that's one of the biggest things. I'm looking forward to the OCBA. What are they going to say?
That'll be interesting.
I have to believe there has to be a panel on this.
I'm sure there will be. Mary's typically on top of that sort of stuff.
So no, last year they had Minnesota Guild come in and talk.
Yes, a little bit about it. Yep, they sure did. Yeah. So, who knows?
Like I said, I'm not advocating. I want every brewery to be able to make money.
Right.
I mean,
staying open is the end goal.
And if THC helps you with that, I want you to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
Everything responsibly.
Yeah. So, alrighty, let's get into the next one.
Yeah, last one there is our raspberry jelly-filled donut. You can see it's got a good red hue to it.
And you smell raspberry.
There are real raspberries in there. So, it was some raspberry, some vanilla. Again, a little bit of a simple syrup to just sweeten it up a hair. But yeah, I think it tastes pretty much spot on what it's supposed to be. So I like the way it turned out.
All these beers have been spot on.
Thank you, Blake. I appreciate it. Work hard to make it so. I try them 3 different times and keep adjusting as I go, which is a pain in the ass, but I think I like the way they turn out. So
when you make something like this, how often do you have to tweak it?
Almost every time. Even though I write stuff down and try to, keep myself aware of what I'm doing, I'm not always the best about it. And I'll try something and go, I don't like the way that tastes. It needs a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. And unfortunately, once something's in a keg, you have to move it from one keg to another to adjust it. So it's a lot of dirtying kegs and emptying kegs and all that jazz. But when the product turns out well and people like it, that's the end goal. And I don't want to release something that I don't enjoy or think people are going to enjoy. So you got to tweak it a couple times. That's what you got to do.
Is like when it comes to brewing, is there like spectacle? Is it like certain like beers you have that your core is like you don't even need to look at the recipe, you automatically know in your head what you need to do, or does it vary?
100% yes, to an extent. I mean, we still try to tweak things. We're always trying to learn. We adjust our water profile at times. There's a bunch of different stuff that goes into every beer like that. But yes, we have a number of these recipes down pat. We know exactly the amount of hops that go into everything for certain ones. Like it's pretty standardized to an extent. As I said, we tweak things on occasion and try new things just to see if we can make every beer a little bit better by paying attention to certain, minute details. It's a lot of moving pieces, so you have to have a control set and try things as you go. And if you make one change, you got to make sure it's not something else that happened. So, yeah, it's a lot going on. But in general, yeah, we know exactly what we're doing with certain beers.
So outside of Dimmer, is there any other in OCBA? Are there any other events coming up for you guys?
Absolutely, yeah. In February, we have Big Beer Bacchanal. It's our celebration of big high ABV stuff. We're going to have a local pizza oven outside cooking pizzas for us, as long as it's warm enough for him to stand out there, because everyone needs some food in their belly when they're drinking 14% stouts and barley wines. We're also releasing a triple IPA that day in cans. So we've got a number of events coming up. Our annual celebration of our friend who unfortunately passed far too young, Jess Fest, I think is in March, and then we'll have Freakin' Frickin' Fest, our celebration of cask ales in April. So we've got a number of things coming up, and if you follow us on social media, you'll be the first to know about all of that.
So what's your most proudest moment, Doug, being in the brewery industry?
Doesn't have to be here.
Doesn't have to be here or anywhere.
I mean, it might sound a little corny, but I guess, like, honestly, the thing that makes me the most proud in this industry is when I've been able to have such a positive impact on people. And, like, through, breweries are a good place to hold fundraisers or, for organizations or people in need. And, just being able to provide a product that helps people gather together and help one another out or help out an organization or something is just really, really cool, and that means a lot. And that's like, I don't know, that's a big part of why I do this, because when you make something that means a lot to somebody, it's just that putting a little bit of yourself in it, that just just feels really, really cool to like have to know you've made a positive impact, even if it was making someone's favorite beer. Just having that impact on people,
or making the beer that brings people together around a table. Like that's a great answer, Doug. And I mean, I couldn't agree more. Like, truly, one of the best things about this place is the amount of friends we make without even trying. Just people come in, they're excited to talk to us, and oh no, did we just become best friends? Like, it's pretty awesome.
That's how we became friends.
100%.
Out of the state.
Yep.
But how, as a brewer, if someone says, "Hey, this is my favorite beer that you made," how does that make? I'm assuming it's good, but it's like,
it makes me feel terrible.
When your first time you ever heard that, this is my favorite beer, what was that like for you? Like,
I don't think that's why we do it. It truly is. Like, if someone tells you, hey, this is the best I've ever tried, or this is my favorite beer I've ever had, you're just going like, well, I didn't even do anything. Like, I just put something together and it turned out this great. Like, I don't know. There's no feeling like it, like, I don't know. I'm not an Olympian who has won a gold medal, so maybe there is some other stuff that compares or is better. But
that's
I'm not going to have those. Doug gets to stand on stage while people scream at him to play his trumpet, so that's got to be pretty cool.
I'd say, like, back to the traditional beer thing again. Like, I love when people say that, this reminds me so much of like Fuller's ESB, or this reminds me of like Augustine or Helles or something, and I'm like, hell yeah,
that's a huge compliment.
That's like, it's so cool, because I was like, those are all like where I took inspiration from, and just for people to compare it to what are considered some of the pinnacle beers of that style is just like that's freaking awesome.
Now I challenge you to a steam beer. See if you can make it as good as.
Need some equipment.
Right.
All right.
Well, I thank you guys for taking some time on your busy day today. And
Thank you, Blake.
I enjoy having you guys on anytime, and you're more welcome to come back on anytime. And I'm sure we'll do this sometime again this year. So
Sounds good to me.
Yep, thanks, Blake.
And thank you. Cheers.
Fun.